this is the time after that second turning point, the aftermath after you started to realize that books were going to be either a minor or a major part. So take us back to the beginning. Did you realize at the beginning of the aftermath, after the turning point, did you realize how major of a player books were going to be in your future plans?
I did as soon as it started changing. Like I was planning, as I said, just doing business cards and stationery and printed marketing materials and things like that. And it didn't happen, and it didn't happen so fast that I did get a keen indicator. The most recent change of direction I've had, I guess, is the rebranding and adding the end marketing to my title. I don't think I saw that coming. Like I was very clear it was books, but it wasn't until um, even a long time after, like that second turning point where I relaunched myself as the publishing queen because I wanted to do what my successful customers were doing and follow in their footsteps so I could have the dream life, have work-life balance, not just help other people create it. I was very clear how books fitted in then, but I don't think I realized, even though the major difference was those who marketed and those didn't, how important marketing would become. Because, of course, a successfully published book, everyone wants one of those, and I've been doing this for years. I can give you that with my eyes closed. But a successfully marketed book, that's a lot harder because that's where the work comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's interesting because one thing I want our viewers to really hone in on is Kylie's got this very high energy, and you would think that somebody with high energy is going to be going a million miles an hour and not see the nuances in their business. And the reason I bring that up is because we have a lot of people who watch this show who have high energy because I'm a high energy guy and like attracts like. So if you think that just because you're high energy, you can't see the nuances in your business, Kylie is a great example of exactly the opposite. There was this nuance in her business that she could realize what was going on and realize it was going to be a major part of her business, even though she was going a million miles an hour. I mean, is that a fair? Am I overstating, understating, or is that a fair statement?
No, it's a good statement. I like to think I work with both sides of the brain because they complement each other. I know people think they're very much left-sided or right-sided, but as you mentioned before, work to your strengths. It doesn't matter which side you have. If you're not naturally gifted with both, which, let's face it, not everyone is, hire someone on the other side. I happen to use both. I call it natural gifting because I don't think I planned it. But at the same time, I hire people in both because why would I want to do things I don't need to?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you use both sides because you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So half your brain works 12 hours. Half your brain works 12 hours.
And
The
the
other
other
half
way.
works the other
Yep,
12 hours, right? That's how you
yep,
sleep.
totally.
You just
Totally. Oh,
shut half
sleep.
of your brain
Where do
off.
I fit sleep in? No, it's funny you say that because, as I said, I now run a fully automated business, which actually means I don't ever need to work. And I actually set that up just as a side point because I've got a couple of kids, had my second child, and went, well, one child you can work part time, but two children, you really have to be a stay at home mum. And it drove me insane. As you can hear, I am so driven. I couldn't be a stay at home mum. So I had to fill up this space, this free space, because I had a fully virtual business with things to do. And as you know, my current calendar, I've been pretty successful at doing that because I just get bored sitting still. I have to be actively doing things. So it's a really interesting point.
Yeah, definitely. And the interesting thing you brought up about marketing and not really knowing how marketing would fit into us. Tell us a little bit about how, what was going on in the business, how you discovered the fact of marketing being such an integral part of making a book successful.
Well, initially it was that turning point because I noticed the distinction, which is why I started doing it. But I didn't realize how important the role would be. I mean, I was always marketing my business, but I started marketing myself the same way I was marketing my customers. And as I said, I started my national tours. I went around Australia. I was running seminars and retreats and boot camps, and I call them boot camps because I'd literally kick people up the behind if they weren't doing what I told them to. Things like that. But once again, I had a huge fan following. I had a lot of referral marketing coming through. So I guess I was sort of taking marketing for granted just because it was naturally working so well for me. But then I did take a time off when I actually stopped to have my first son, or first child. He happened to be my son. And that period where just towards the end of your pregnancy, where you're a little bit big and it's hard to physically get around and be as active as you were, and when you've just had a child and you're literally breastfeeding every hour, and a few things had to change. And so, of course, I slowed down. And then I realized, oh, hold on. this marketing I've been teaching everyone, you don't want to be marketing when you're desperate. You want to be marketing so you're never desperate. Well, I didn't get desperate or anything like that, but I took a 4-month period off, and when I came back, I went, ooh, I haven't been marketing for 4 months. And I think that's when it hit me of how important it was, because I was teaching it to other people. And as I said, I went the reverse way around. I didn't do it and then teach it. I actually taught it and then did it, because I was working with my customers first. And I know that's a little unusual. But even though I taught it and we learn 95% of what we teach, I obviously missed 5% when applying it to myself.
Well, and I
So that
think,
was probably another turning point for you.
yeah, and I think what is so interesting is that I think a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners and coaches and consultants specifically fall into this trap. We do things for other people, or we help other people do things, and we do them so easily, or it comes naturally, or it comes natural for us to do it for other people, that we forget to do them for ourselves. It's the old saying here in the States, physician, heal thyself. It's, some of the, I'll see it on Facebook all the time. Some people who are great at writing copy for other people sit down and go, help, I can't write copy for myself, but I can write it for other
Yeah.
people. And there's this weird mental block that comes in, that you can do things easily for other people. And this is a whole another show. Maybe I'll have you back on. We can just kind of talk about this, because it sounds like you might know a little bit about this too. There's this weird mental block that happens when people do stuff for themselves that they can find easy
Yeah.
to do for other people. And it's good that you took the time, you slowed down and said, okay, how can I apply this? And to have the courage to apply what you were doing for other people for yourself. Because I think that's what a lot of people lack as well, is the fact that it takes a lot of courage, and as strange as this sounds, and this is the last point I'll say on this, as strange as it sounds, to do something for somebody else takes a lot less courage than to do it for yourself. And that's a whole
Totally.
nother topic. But do you agree with that?
I agree with you 100%. I'm all about, another E, empowering people, but I find I spend so long empowering the people I work with, I don't always spend enough time empowering myself. So I hear you 100%.
Definitely. I think that's kind of a good place to wrap up the first half of our show today. Today we're talking with Kylee Ellis, and during the first half, we've talked about her heroine's journey from doing marketing and graphic design, to being fired only to be asked to have another job at the same place, into starting her own publishing and marketing empire and becoming the publishing queen, which I forget, is Australia still a colony of England? I mean, would the Queen have any?
Oh, that's always debatable.
Is
Officially, yes, but I don't think anyone here acknowledges it, with Australia Day just being the other day.
I was going to say, I didn't want to offend you, but is the Queen upset at all that you're also a queen? I mean, is that causing any?
I'll tell you what. I don't think I've offended her, but there is a guy, and I won't name names, and he's closer to you in the US, and I've definitely offended him. Definitely offended him. He is my biggest referrer. Won't name names, but he regularly writes blog posts about how terrible. Oh dear, matey, you better go. Mummy's on TV. This is my son I was talking about, who I was breastfeeding when I made the change to my direction, and he obviously hasn't got my message to say what time to get back yet. Hi, mate, you better pop out for a second. There you go. Just go down there, and I'm sure Daddy will talk to you. There you go. There's an impromptu thing you weren't expecting there. He's a bit older now, as you can see. He's not breastfed anymore.
I was going to say, I thought we were going to take this show. This really looked like we were about to go way off. It would have been a viral video, but I think so. But anyway, yeah, we'll have to talk about that off air, because I know I've had a few people in the publishing industry on Expert Showcase. He might have been a previous guest. I don't know, but which is always fun. So, folks, once again, you've been watching Kylee Ellis. We've been talking about her heroine's journey. And in the next segment of Expert Showcase, we're going to talk all about automating your marketing and generating prepaid clients. Stick around, come back in 30 seconds, and we'll be right back. Raise your hand if you could use more clients. Now keep those hands up if you know that the best, most efficient, most effective way to attract your ideal client is to create great client attracting content that connects with your ideal client and makes it easier for you to convert them into paying clients. Now, whether you have your hands up or have your hands down, I invite you to join me on the Create, Connect, and Convert Online Summit. It's where I and other people who are real-world practitioners masters of creating great client attracting content are going to share our secrets with you. The summit is online. It runs Wednesday, April 13th through Saturday, April 23rd. You need to go out to the web address on your screen at this point, register to reserve your seat. And remember, you want to join us on the Create, Connect, and Convert online summit, because creating content is how you spread your message, reach more people, and make a bigger difference.
To watch the rest of this epic episode now, click on the link below the video. Do it now, you'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Watch the rest of this epic episode now by clicking on the link below the video.